You have exactly 3 seconds to like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I'll appear in your dreams tonight. To ask for a donation for that cup of coffee, link below.
May 2020 set the Pentagon. Donald Trump is raving about victory. Water. The US has just completed a series of goals in Venezuela and Iran. But I won't be happy for long. Russia already. Prepare them a surprise gift. 1. The campaign to support China is complete. Into the great cause of Taiwan's unification. This information has caused local authorities. Tay was shocked and didn't have time to react. The perspective of America's first defense line in brutal Asia is present. But why did Kremlin act at this time? According to British intelligence information, Chinese leader Xi Jinping gave the order for the army to prepare to attack Taiwan. Early, they have detailed documents on hand. Meeting between Russian and Chinese delegations. Quoc. Beijing signaled Moscow support. Campaign to liberate the island of Taiwan. At a sudden request from a friend. In the south, President Putin agreed right away. The two sides agree on the schedule. The program provides identical weapons and methods. Payment method. Some means are. Immediate transfer includes 37. Special battleship of the landing unit. Airborne. 11 self-propelled. Light cargo tank. 11 steel armored vehicles. Same unknown quantity set. Specialized precision armor. And will only. High. Finally, Russia also supplies China National a series of specialized equipment for parachute combat tactics from high altitude. 8,000 men. It's a birth support system. Survival can operate under conditions. Cold temperature below 60 Rex C is designed. Let the uniformed soldiers stand and not perform their duties. Service in harsh atmospheric environments. Best. After jumping out of the plane, each battle, soldiers will glide up to 80 km, carrying infantry. This item is together with combat weapons and equipment. Total weight up to 190 kg. They landed in a safe location and were lost. Secret penetrated deep into Taiwanese territory. Lone. Wait until the Chinese Navy and Army. The nation launched an amphibious assault on the island. Red. This force has just appeared, causing trouble. Create internal and external effects. Return to the agreement between Moscow and Beijing. The contract decides that all, even armored vehicles, must be equipped. China domestic general contact and compatible with Russian electronic devices. Moscow also proactively prepared machines. Hook and set up the software accordingly. With partners' weapon. In addition, hundreds of aircraft no. Orlan 10 driver was also transferred. China but only for training purposes. Practice. Talking about the Inter-Supply Gram Electricity Service Package. Issued to Beijing. We don't have to tell. To the skills training program. Right. Airborne and combat. Fight with armored vehicles. Along with that, the Russian-Chinese do also regularly organize joint exercises with large scale similar to the US and other countries. NATO ally. Most of the topics revolve around virginity, air surveillance and missile defense. With the Navy. For Mr. Putin, this is an opportunity to show off. Russia shows its national position before people. Giant neighbor from the south. After more than 4 years of fighting in Ukraine. Force. Their armed forces have matured. Every soldier gets it. Train your will and survival skills. Under harsh battlefield conditions. Best. All brigades and divisions participated in the battle. Gained experience using weapons. The atmosphere and direction of war are very windy. Rich. Ability to coordinate operations and synergize. The military is also improved. A lot more than before. Typical example is the airborne force. No. Russia has repeatedly demonstrated its ability to survive against fierce attacks of the soldier. This is also a skill. The Chinese army has never been able to do it. Besides, the conflict in Ukraine also has the effect of checking the effectiveness of weapons and means of war. The defense industry relies on it to improve and enhance the quality of each product. So even when faced with, despite countless difficulties, Russian weapons still work. Countries are looking for them, especially goods integrated with modern technology such as Su-57 tank fighter, T-90. It can be seen compared to the quality and weapons. Russia completely surpasses China. Although, Kors is a former intelligence officer. General. President Putin understands that if judged by strength, overall strength, China can overtake, superior to Russia thanks to its industrial scale, industry and production speed. But that is only an advantage in terms of conditions, peace or small-scale war. As for Taiwan's military potential, currently, if China launches an attack, they will be forced to face one great battle. Faced with that situation, the advantage only belongs to you. Which side has good soldiers, stable weapon quality, adequate resources, need fences and the ability to supply naturally? Material. Regarding the actual combat level, since the invasion, Viet Nam invasion in 1970, China has never participated in a match. Let's fight on a large scale. Soldiers only possess mocking experience. Soldiers perform martial arts, practice selling beer, and practice according to the scenario. Their actual combat ability is unlikely, comparable to what Russian forces have experienced. Scene of life and death fighting on the battlefield. The fiercest in Europe today, regarding the scale of defense industry. Russia has now been surpassed by China. All made-in-China product lines are still available. Haven't shown much real potential yet. War. Recently. Related scandal to China's defense industry. Kwok was also continuously exposed. Public. Most notable are the related cases. Related. The Chinese once advertised that this is one of the defense systems. The name of the world's darkest stars. Comparable to Russia's S-400. It is possible. Ability to counter stealth aircraft. Missiles. Ballistic fire and neutralize all combat. Electronic warfare technique. Good advertising. But when it comes to war, the actual situation is different. May 2025. Pakistan has been sold out by Indian missiles. During the Sindhur campaign, subsequent analysis revealed the softwares. This system is too unstable and vulnerable to electronic warfare. When America advanced and Venezuela arrests its president, HQ-9 is completely helpless in broadcasting. Enemy aircraft district. It also cannot be shown. A little bit of resistance first. Israeli Air Force. Several systems. Destroyed too easily. From there it came out. There is a joke that HQ-9 warns of danger. Dangerous to the defense force by explode and catch fire. Besides, some types of modern weapons. Other Chinese products such as the JF-17 fighter. Thunder. Winglong vis-a-vis D4 tanks. Encounter software, related problems. Lack of stability and poor durability. But for Russia, the weapon's effectiveness. They have been tested through most of the big and small wars since World War II. Moscow still proves to be home, providing prestigious military equipment. Most of the world into like nothing. What language? To serve the long war. Beijing cannot rely on physical means, poor quality and full of minor errors. The strongest kingdom in the East must learn from the northern allies. Only produces the devices. War can operate stably and accurate under harsh conditions. As China is a country with a public economy, strong industry but manufacturing industry. The larger the scale of production, the more it must be used. Many reasons. Now the problem lies in the mineral source. Their property is not fenced or tied. Must be imported from outside. That is also Chinese. If there is a war with Taiwan, they cannot rule out the situation of being affected. The West hinders urgent import and export activities. Until then, only Russia can provide China with a definite mineral source. This also means when closer to the day of war with Taipei and the North, Qin needs help even more. Moscow. Taking advantage of that, Russia can deliver anything. Which claim is intended to maximize benefits for your country? Before continuing, CD Media would like to ask, introducing the main sponsor of the video. This Audible, a large library of copyrighted audiobooks. World from Amazon. Were you next? The earliest access to original knowledge and methods. Greatest work ever. Horrible help. You read books all the time. Even when you're busy. Busy with sound quality. Extremely vivid cinematic. Special. Please register via the link reserved for audiences. Fake CD Media to receive 1 month of service immediately. Free app with a basic book. Attached. The head of Gremlin always remembers. In the context of economic recession, due to war and shortages of goods, it was China that opened the way for them. Exit. But Beijing is not one person. You are carefree. Around the time Enga met difficulties from the end of 22 to 2024, China has forced the country to reduce oil prices. Crew. It's all about service. The country's basis for producing cheap goods. Billion people. So Aries porcelain falls into a difficult situation. Sell more resources but revenue. So the national finances are in deficit and Inflation increased, while source benefits from Russia continue to flow to Beijing. Most knew that but couldn't do anything more right now. They are in a weak position. Economic must temporarily depend on China, but that doesn't mean it either. Moscow wants to stay at the bottom forever. They also pressured, using the same tactics that China used before. It was to hold back and hide oneself, wait for time, had to wait until the campaign hit Taiwan. All cards are right. If you keep it for a long time, you will get fake parts. Resources and minerals will be sold with exorbitant levels. Next, Russia bought Chinese consumer goods, China at cheap prices, in the moderate context to deal with. Just have to put effort into the war to destroy Taipei and the North. Qin will find it difficult to refuse. Only Moscow can force the country of billions of people to enter. The situation is similar to the one they are in now. That scene will open up opportunities for Russia, rise again as a superpower in the future. Furthermore, President Vladimir Putin also understand that the two countries' strategic ceremonies have closely related to each other, helping China unify Taiwan, gain an advantage in the international arena. It also strengthens the common Russian alliance, more powerful. Right before launching the campaign, military in Ukraine, Moscow always takes sides, Beijing's side in all maritime disputes. Island, particularly for the issue of Taiwan and Russia, thoroughly support the one China policy. Quoc. After the outbreak of the Ukrainian conflict. Thailand. This is even more clear. Due to the embargo from the West and China, Quoc suddenly became a big customer of the Russian energy industry. Total. President Putin is like any other person, any other sales when seeing customers. The richer they like it, the more they like it. After Taipei was defeated, there was no more. What can stop China from rising, become rich? Demand for domestic consumption of porcelain from the people, increasingly high. World factory, operating at unprecedented capacity. That situation also leads to the need for consumption. Consumption of fuel and minerals increases. More. Russia can sell more goods to China. As for the beast, they don't wear hats. Playing together in the US and Europe will add to the game. Hard. DN Kremlin could not forget that. The country has had to endure such hardship before the embargoes from other countries. West. In 2022, the Russian armed forces advance into Ukraine. Just one more step and they will succeed. Demilitarize the forces here. At that point, nothing can stop it. Russia entered an era of prosperity. However, the US and Europe were surprised, supporting weapons and means of war to Ukraine. Moscow and Kiev have been fighting for more than 4 years now. There are no signs of war yet. Ukraine is in a difficult situation. Desolate. Ruined. Not much left. So that Russia can take advantage. Also, suffered heavy damage. Tens of thousands of soldiers died in battle. School. Many war vehicles were damaged. Destroy. Many industrial facilities of Russia's oil refineries. The steelmaking complex was attacked, causing the country's economy to suffer serious damage. When Russia has not yet finished handling the matter, pro-Western power in Ukraine is total. President Putin had to witness these things. His friends were eliminated one by one. Harmful. First is the end of 2024 event, the main one. President Assad's authority in Syria collapsed in 2026. Venezuela's surrendered to Washington while total. President Maduro was arrested by special forces. Cuba is in a state of crisis. No matter what, in 2026 the U attack Iran, a close country once provided. UAVs are gone for Russia. This help brought Moscow a huge advantage on the battlefield. Ukraine? Now, when Iran is suddenly attacked, Russia had no time to react and could only provide support. Intelligence information and some equipment. Very limited by war. That put Tehran in a moment. In danger. But Russia is also at risk. Lost another friend. They have no choice but to do it. Must rely on Beijing. Current. Only China can do it. Comprehensive counterbalancing with the West. However, Beijing remains focused. Confrontation with the US, the European Union, Japan in the field of economics. This is not a fierce battle either. One lost. One left. The reason is because both sides are just right. Fight and cooperate with each other on. China still benefit from each shipment of goods exported. Through the West, they prioritize war, economic development and accumulation strategy. Resources come first. Putin does not want to be alone. Stand alone against the enemy forever. China needs to join the fight. Clear the burden as soon as possible. So when I saw Xi Jinping clearly state his decision Taiwan's unification center, not the main temple. Kremlin did not hesitate to show his support. A large-scale attack campaign by China entering Taipei will trigger a counterattack. Responses from the US? If war explode, the West has no choice other than being forced to disperse their forces into the East China Sea. This situation opens up opportunities for Russia to launch an epidemic, large-scale attack, comprehensive counterattack on the Ukrainian front and supporting Iran at Trungdong. But that doesn't mean Unga-Trung alliance has firmly grasped the opportunity to fight, win in hand. In the event of an attack on Taiwan, China's tactical challenge is how to disable the room system, Taiwan's air force and landing force, especially on the beach. All work must be done quickly. Not giving Taipei time. Focus on neutral force. Attack and release. The Chinese army is now vulnerable. Best. This is a very difficult and dangerous task. The air assault force itself. Russia has repeatedly shown its ability. Survive against the enemy army. Never achieve victory. Decided to overwhelm the opponent. Besides the resounding victories. The team. Moscow's professional army also did. Suffered many bitter defeats in Ukraine, like the Hostomel airport battle. Kiev in the entrance to Kyiv in 2022. Taiwan has for many years now been observing. The situation is very thorough and clearly understood. Map of the Russia-China alliance. A series of methodical response strategies is also proposed. This peach on the one hand, assigned defensive fortifications and training. On the one hand, increasing imports. Weapons. Close cooperation with the West. In recent time,
Taipei
even went to Ukraine. KF has experienced fighting forces. Airborne. Infrastructure and hold back the Russian army throughout 4-5 while. If Taiwan really gets the same thing as the general's army. President Zelensky did it. China, Russia's biggest ally. Also, product development progress has been pushed back. But even Russia helps China. The country attacking Taiwan at this time is the only reasonable choice. That's dynamic. Attitude to maintain prestige with allies and is last chance to defeat the West. America's at the top, but will they succeed? Or not? We can only wait. The answer is in the future. Fuck. Music.